Can digital products get you suspended on Etsy? Hey everybody, my name is Marcella Dominguez. I'm a trademark lawyer helping you with your online and offline business needs. In case you get suspended on Etsy, you can always reach out. My information is down below. In this video, we are going to touch on whether digital products can land you in hot water on Etsy. Will you get suspended? Will you get banned? Will your Etsy listings be taken down if you plan on selling digital products, whether that be ebooks, calendars, invites, any kind of digital product? For those of you that are new to the world of digital products, you might be wondering what in the world are digital products. So digital products are usually anything that can be taken from a computer. So for example, if you created a calendar, if you created an invite, a digital image, a digital rendering, homework templates, standard design for a notepad, they can be online courses. Did I say online courses? That's in the back of my mind because that is the most common one that I see outside of the Etsy platform. What do you think the most common digital products are on Etsy? Because this video is all about whether creating those common types of digital products can get you suspended from the Etsy platform. So as you guys know, answering this question is very, very important to me because I have had calls from lots of Etsy sellers about getting their accounts reinstated. And if you've watched that video right there, you know that it is not easy. For more details about why it's not easy, you need to check that video out. But I want to answer the same question for digital products specifically. I know that creating digital products can have a low barrier to entry. It's minimal cost. Lots of you know how to use many of these softwares very, very well, like Canva, even Word to create templates. Many times you can use AI to help you with the ebooks. So using these tools begs the question, can you get suspended from the Etsy platform with digital products? But first, I want you to go onto the Etsy platform with me, and don't worry, I'm going to put that up on the screen right now. I want us to just take a quick look at what digital products people are selling on Etsy so that you can see the most common types. In the Etsy search bar, for anything from calendars to invites, kids invites, notes, wedding invitations, photography, wall art, prints, you name it, and it's there. So can you get suspended from the Etsy platform for selling these digital products? And of all the calls that I've had with Etsy sellers, I've started to realize that there is a pattern, and that pattern is that it is mostly for people selling physical products. It is not for people selling digital products. So, I ask you, why do you think that is? Tell me in the comments below. I can tell you what I think the answer is. Are physical products more susceptible to Etsy suspension? Or are digital products more susceptible to suspension? And if I am completely honest with you, I think that physical products are the low-hanging fruit for Etsy. What do I mean by the low-hanging fruit? So it's really easy for Etsy to go onto your product listing, your physical product listing, and say, oh, that doesn't look like it complies with our handmade policy. So if it doesn't look like that, maybe somebody's going to dig a little bit deeper. Look at your photos, look at what text you have written in the description. Does any of what you have written or does any of what you have shown violate any of Etsy's rules? So it's really easy for Etsy to make a determination and say, this doesn't really look handmade. For example, look at these toys that I have seen on various wholesaling websites that don't necessarily look handmade, and people have listed them on Etsy, and I have known of Etsy taking down some of these because, again, they are not considered handmade. It's a product that can be purchased wholesale from a supplier. So again, I think that physical products are a low-hanging fruit for Etsy, very easy for Etsy to go on and say it does or doesn't comply with our policies, our terms, our conditions. And if it doesn't comply, then we're going to go ahead and suspend this account or take down these listings. Now, I definitely think that Etsy hangs its hat on that one rule when it comes to physical products. I think they really look at the physical products and say, does this or does this not comply with our handmade policy? So that's number one. Number two, I think Etsy will really hang its hat on whether there's an IP violation. So if somebody else has reported your listing as an IP violation, I'll give you an example of a physical product right now that might violate some IP rules, and that is merch sellers. So if you sell mugs, for example, shirts, hoodies with, like, let's say Taylor Swift or Michael Jackson or your preferred artist face and the preferred artist's name. Well, let me back up. Let's just say it doesn't even have the artist name. It just uses the likeness and the image of the artist, maybe in a cartoony type of format, something that you've created, but it's still on a physical product. So in that situation, I think Etsy really hangs its hat on, is there an IP violation here? Are Taylor Swift's agents, or does Taylor Swift have a third-party company that is scouring the internet and databases for people that are using her likeness and image for commercial purposes? Because some artists do engage in this practice. So if, for example, your product is flagged by a third party that says, oh, this is infringing on Taylor Swift's likeness, on her image, then Etsy will hang their hat on that and say, okay, then this product has to come down. This account potentially has to be suspended also. Again, when it comes to physical products, they will take it down if it's not handmade. And if it's a merch type product, then they definitely don't want to see any IP violations that are reported by a third party. Otherwise, they will hang their hat on that third party's report and take down your listing. So to recap, Etsy will definitely take down your listings if they are not handmade, and they will take your listings down if somebody else, like a third party, reports you for an IP violation. So by now you're probably asking, what in the world does that have to do with digital products? Because this video is supposed to be about digital products and not physical products. Well, it's still important to know what rules are applicable to the physical products so that you can carry those over to digital products as well. Number 1, do not use somebody's trademarked name or logo or their likeness on your digital products. So for example, you still don't want to be using Taylor Swift's likeness or image if she does have a third-party company scouring the internet. You don't want to use that on digital products, digital templates either. Let's say you're going to have a Taylor Swift themed party and you now want to create invitations that use her likeness or her image, and you sell those digital products. Is that a low-hanging fruit for Etsy, and will Etsy automatically take down your listing? What I've noticed with digital products is that when you click on the listing, you're not able to see the digital product in its entirety. So for example, the digital product could be 10 pages long if it's an ebook, or 50 pages long. So most of the time you're just seeing the cover and you might get a glimpse of the first or second page of that ebook, but very few times will you actually be able to look at the entire ebook before purchasing. When answering this question, I just don't think that digital products are as low of a hanging fruit because a buyer cannot see the entire digital product before purchasing it. So you're not actually able to tell whether somebody's infringing right away. You're not able to tell if it violates one of Etsy's policies right away. But what about single page digital products where it's obvious what you're buying by seeing the cover photo of the Etsy listing, like invitations or posters or art? Could this be low-hanging fruit for Etsy? Most IP violations I have seen on the Etsy platform come from a third party. So more than likely, a third party has to report you in order for Etsy to take down the listings. Now, I'm not saying that that is always the case because Etsy could always flag the listing on its own when they see an IP violation. But if a famous person or a celebrity has the IP police scouring the internet trying to take down people who are using their trademarked information for commercial gain or profit, you could be at risk of suspension or account deactivation. Are Etsy sellers less likely to report your products for trademark infringement or copyright infringement if they really like your products and want to buy them? I also think that not as many people report digital products for any type of IP violations like trademark violations, copyright violations, because as you know, digital products are also subject to copyright laws. And then of course you don't want to be using anybody else's trademarked logo or trademarked name because then you'd be using it for commercial purposes. And if you haven't properly licensed the content, then you could be on the hook. But sometimes I think that, again, because it's hidden, the potentially infringing material could be hidden within the content, and the rightful owner is probably not going to see it. And it's not a low-hanging fruit because it's not obvious and apparent in the listing or the listing photos. I think that it's more difficult for Etsy to find out about these types of violations unless somebody reports it. They're obviously not going to go and report the seller of these McDonald's invitations because, well, they want it for their own McDonald's themed party. But if McDonald's came across these invitations, and McDonald's might be annoyed and they might say, oh, okay, this violates my IP. But again, not all trademark holders are scouring the internet for people that are using their intellectual property. So it's not a low-hanging fruit for Etsy until the rightful owner, the rightful trademark holder, the rightful copyright owner comes and reports it and basically starts nudging Etsy and is like, hey, this person is infringing on my IP, and then Etsy will take it down.
So overall,
I just think that the low-hanging fruit for Etsy is the physical products. That has been my experience. That's what I have seen. Tell me what your experience is, what you have seen. Let me know in the comments below because it could help another seller out there, either somebody who's thinking about selling on the Etsy platform or somebody who is currently selling on the Etsy platform and maybe they have a really bad idea in mind and we should stop them from pursuing that bad idea so that they don't get taken down. So if this video was helpful or you want to learn more about selling on the Etsy platform, and if opening a second account is a good or a bad idea, make sure to check out that video right there where I go into more detail about Etsy and its platform and whether opening a second account is a good idea. And also, if you want more one-on-one information about Etsy and what my experience has been in talking with other sellers, and you need a personalized consultation, make sure to scroll down into the description below. I'd be more than happy to help you. And I also offer some templates that you can use that might be useful. Just scroll down and you'll see them there.